Shri Padmatmani Namaham. Namaste devotees and Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Sunday morning satsang this beautiful January 30th, 2022. For those of you who are joining in with us today, whether it's live as we stream on our YouTube, or if you're watching in the future, I ask that you join together with me as we join together in singing these very beautiful bhajans as we go ahead and prep our minds and our souls for our Sunday morning service. स्वागत है सब जन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की धार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारा रंजन सब नर नार ईश सगुण निर्गुण विनाशी मात पिता रुयार ईश सगुण निर्गुण विनाशी मात पिता रुयार और माए हम वास्त सदाई और भाई हम वास्त सदाई तार हम ये संसार स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की धार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो रंजन सब नर नार तीर्थ माया गोत लगावे पुण्य परिसार तीर्थ माया गोत लगावे पुण्य परिसार संगति संतन नीम चलावे संगति संतन नीम चलावे शोभन सब व्यवहार स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की धार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारा रंजन सब नर नार रंजन सब नर नार रंजन सब नर नार At this time, devotees, I ask you all join together with me as you go ahead and clasp your hands and close your eyes. With your hands clasped and your eyes closed, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax your spine, your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your forehead, relax your entire body. With your body relaxed and your mind focused, go ahead and take some time to picture a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you, one that helps you focus. And join together with me as we chant our opening prayers. पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यं निरं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जेता मा क्रुधाकस्य स्विद्धनम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहे तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे हरिं शांति 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 हरिं. We join together now, devotees, as we chant the most powerful mantra in this universe. As we join together in chanting the Gayatri mantra. Om Agakshe Varade Devi Akshare Brahmavadini Gayatri Jagat Matar Vishwayoni Namostute. Om Bhure Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhure Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhure Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Hari Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Prem Swar Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer obediences to that remover and destroyer of all obstacles in our life. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Yajananam Bhutanganadhi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palachara Bhakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarikam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurumi Deva Sarvakarishu Saravada Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksha Rakshatre Lokya Rakshakana Bhaktanam Bhayam Kartha Trata Bhava Bhavaranavar. Om Shriman Mahaganadipate Namah. Prem se Bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Continuing on with our prayers, devotees, we offer obediences to that universal mother of knowledge and learning, that mother of wisdom and clarity of mind. We offer prayers to Saraswati Mata. Om Saraswati Mahabhage Vidye Kamala Luchine Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varare Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Mahasaraswati Namah. Prem Solo Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. We continue by offering prayers, devotees, to that universal mother and that destroyer of all evils in our life. We offer prayers to Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Mahadurgaya Namaha. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhandra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadhana Mostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Kotardini Hardini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kalaratrena Mostute. Adivi Sarva Bhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shamdita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Adivi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Tushti Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Daya Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. As we pray to Mother Durga, we say, Oh, Mother Durga, Thou art the universal mother, and we, your children, worship you in many forms. O Ma, we see you as Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, O Ma, Namastasye, Namastasya, Namastasya, Namo Namah. As we pray to you, O Ma, we bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we offer prayers to Mother Durga in the form of the Universal Mother, Matri Rupe. Ya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu, Matri Rupena Samstitha. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namah. Dehi Saubhagyam Narogyam, Dehi Me Paramam Sukham, Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi, Yesho Dehi Dvasho Jahi. Om Prem Shiva Shakti Durga Mata Ki Jai. Forgive me for a moment, devotees. I just have to make one quick adjustment on my harmonium, and we will continue on. There we go. Okay. As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer obediences to the most influential beings in our life. Those beings that influence our name, our temperament, the times that we can perform certain rituals. We offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata. Navgraha Devataya Namaham Bharam Ha Murari Sripuranta Kari Manusha Shibhu Mitsuto Burhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Keto Sarve Graha Shanti Kara Bhavantu Sarve Graha Shanti Kara Bhavantu. As we continue on with our prayers, we offer obediences to that being that exists in the form of the sun and that sustainer of all life on this planet. We offer prayers to Surya Narayan Bhagavan. Om Suryaya Namaha, 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 Suryaya Namaha. Adineya Namastubhyam Prasidha Mamam Hashkaram Divakara Namastubhyam Prabhakara Namasute Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha. Om Prem Shiva Navgraha Devata Ki Jai, Prem Shiva Surya Narayan Bhagavan Ki Jai. As we continue praying, devotees, we offer obediences to that sustainer of all things, to how to make all things righteous in this universe. We offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. Om Shri Vishnu Namaha. Om Shantakaram Mojagashayanam Padmanabham Surisham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrasham Meghavaranam Shubhanam. Om Lakshmi Kantam Kamalinayanam Yogi Bhira Dhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavamaya Haram Sarvaloke Kanatam. Om Sashankha Chakram Sakirita Kundalam Sapita Vastram Sarisirurekshanam Sahara Vakshastalashombi Kostum Bhashriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam. Om Prem Shiva Vishnu Bhagavan Ki Jai. And finally, devotees, we join together as we offer prayers to that universal Father and that universal Guru. As we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe, we join together as we offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Karpuram Hauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ शिव हरे शिव राम सखे प्रभु त्रिव्रतापनिवारण हे विभो आज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां शिव हरे जयं गुरु मे वरं कमललोचन राम दयानिधि हर गुरु गजरक्षक गोपति शिवतनो भव शंकर पाहि मां शिव हरे जयं गुरु मे वरं स्वानरञ्जन मंगल मंदिरं मजति ते पुरुषा परमं फलं भवति तस्य सुखं परमानुभूतं शिव हरे जयं कुरु मे वरं जय युधिष्ठिरवालभ भूपते जय जयार्जित पुण्य पायोनिधि जय कृपमय कृष्ण नमोस्तुते शिव हरे जयं कुरु मे वरं भवविमोचन माधव मापते सुखविमानसहंस शिवरते जनक जानक राघव रक्षमं शिव हरे जयं कुरु मे वरं पवनिमण्डल मङ्गलमापते जलद सुंदर राम रमापति निगम कीर्ति कुनारनव गोपते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं पतित पावन नाम मयीलता तव यशो विमलं प्रेगीयते हरपि माधवमं किमुपक्षते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् अमरथा परदेव रमापते विजयतस्तव नाम गणोपम मयि कथं करुणार्णव ध्यायते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं हनुमतं प्रेयथापकरं प्रभु सुरसहृद्रीतशिखारहि मन विभाव किं स्मरणं कृतं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं नरहरिरतिरञ्जन सुन्दरं पतति आश्वरामवतस्तवं विशति राम रमचरन्ननं भुजे शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं ॐ Devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that them have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May their passage be a smooth and tranquil. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmukshio Mamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmukshio Mamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmukshio Mamritat Om Gangarapate Namaha Om Kartikeya Namaha Om Nandishwaraya Namaha Om Vasukiya Namaha Om Shri Samsara Shivaya Namaha Prem Swara Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki Jai. Devotees, once again, I'd like to thank a number of you for recording bhajans and sending them in for us to listen to during our virtual Sunday morning satsang. We actually have a few songs for today, so I'm going to announce the first two and the singers, and then we'll have a pause, and I'll announce who the next singers were in between the songs, because it's kind of how I had to put all the music together. So first and foremost, for this first two songs, the first song that you're going to hear was recorded by Auntie Sarani and his Uncle Walter, with some words and verses from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as well as a very beautiful bhajan for us to listen to. The second song that you're going to hear is a very beautiful bhajan sent in and sung by Geeta Samlal. So thank you to all of you for recording your songs and sending them in. Again, we'll listen to those two songs. I'll announce who the next songs are right after that, but let's go ahead and pan on over to those. We'll listen to all of our bhajans, and then we'll continue on with our sermon.
मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान। तेरे जैसे लाखों आए, लाखों इस माटी ने खाए, तेरे जैसे लाखों आए, लाखों इस माटी ने खाए, रहना नाम निशान रे बंदे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान। ज्योति माया ज्योति काया, वो तेरा जू हरि गुण गाया, ज्योति माया ज्योति काया, वो तेरा जू हरि गुण गाया, जप ले हरि का नाम रे बंदे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान। माया का अंधकार निराला, बाहर उजला भीतर काला, इसको तू पहचान रे बंदे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान। तेरे पास है हीरे मोती, मेरे मन मंदिर में ज्योति, तेरे पास है हीरे मोती, मेरे मन मंदिर में ज्योति, कौन हुआ धनवान रे बंदे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, ज्योति तेरी शान रे, मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान।
सांवरा मेरा सांवरा, सांवरा हो मेरा सांवरा, सांवरा मेरा सांवरा, सांवरा हो मेरा सांवरा, दूध के।
Jai Sita Ram. I would like to share a few quotations from the Bhagavad Gita. Love does not come from your mind. It is from your heart. Spiritual desires come from your heart and not your mind. We have to learn to tolerate. That's life. Self-realization comes from self-discipline. When you lose your mind, then you lose your intelligence. Knowledge is the true power of life. When we pray, we must pray from our heart and not our mind. Om. Jai 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 Hanuman. Jai 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 Hanuman. Jai 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 Hanuman. Jai 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 Hanuman. Atulit baladhamam hema shaila badeham danajuan krishanu gyani namagragamyam sakala guninidhanam vanaranamadisham Raghupati priyabhaktam Vatajatam namami Raghupati priyabhaktam Vatajatam namami Jai Mahabir Swamibhyo Namo Namaham Jai 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 Hanuman Jai 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 Hanuman Jai 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 Hanuman Jai 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 Hanuman Jai Sita Ram Jai Jai Hanuman Jai Sita Ram Jai Jai Hanuman Mantu Japale Hari Ka Naam Mantu Japale Hari Ka Naam बिगड़ी बनाएंगे हनुमान बिगड़ी बनाएंगे हनुमान दया करेंगे सीताराम दया करेंगे सीताराम जय सिया राम जय जय हनुमान जय सिया राम जय जय हनुमान मंतु जपले हरि का नाम मंतु जपले हरि का नाम जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान जगतपति श्री राम हमारे मंगल भवन अमंगल धारे लक्ष्मी स्वरूप सीता माता सेवक हनुमत है त्रिपुरारी सेवक हनुमत है त्रिपुरारी भक्त जनों के है भगवान भक्त जनों के है भगवान मंतु जपले हरि का नाम मंतु जपले हरि का नाम जय सिया राम जय जय हनुमान जय सिया राम जय जय हनुमान मंतु जपले हरि का नाम मंतु जपले हरि का नाम जय 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 हनुमान 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 जय 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 हनुमान
तेरा सज भरी रे दादा रानी लागे दादा रानी लागे करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मीते रस से भरी रे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे जमुना मैया गरे गरे राधा गोरे गोरे वृंदावन में धूम मचावे बरसने की जोरे राजधाम राजा जी के राजधानी लागे राजधानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो करो जमुना जी का पानी लागे आनंद गमनी में थे तुम्हें बारंबार पोतिन रूप में हर मोहर कहूँ न पावे पर रूप रंग की छवि ने बदलानी लागे बदलानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे नीचे रस से भरी रे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे ना भावे मन मागन मिसरे अपने गोप मिठाई मारे जीवन याने अवतारा नाम मिलाए जिस भानु की लली को गुण गाने लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे नीते रस से भरी रे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे राधा राधा नाम रटत है जो नया खोया जिसके बाधा धूल करते राधा राधा नाम से धबल दुखदानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मीठे रस से भरी रे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मीठे रस से भरी रे राधा रानी लागे मन लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे मन गारो गारो जमुना जी का पानी लागे
Once again, we'd like to thank Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani for sending in that first bhajan, and then for Gita Samal for recording and sending in that second bhajan. I do apologize for that switch up mid song there, devotees. I had uploaded the song from last week instead of the newly recorded songs from this week, so I do apologize for that mix up. But for the next song, I want to thank my sister-in-law Nirmala Dasrath, as well as Dr. Danny Sukai. They collaborated together with Nirmala singing the songs and Dr. Danny performing and providing the music in the background and the acoustics. So this next bhajan is for them, and I want to thank Nirmala as well for creating a slideshow with not only the words for the bhajan, but also the meaning and the translation with a very beautiful picture of Mother Durga. So we'll now pan over to listen to that very beautiful bhajan. But again, thank you to Nirmala and to Dr. Danny.
जय
Once again, thank you to Uncle Walter, Auntie Sarani for the first bhajan, for Geeta for the second bhajan, and for Nirmala and Dr. Danny Sukai for that very beautiful third bhajan. Listening to that one made me feel like I was actually back in temple, just because everybody has a sort of musical style, and just hearing Uncle Danny play the tabla and everything going on with Mala singing, it was very, very nostalgic. So thank you all for recording those very beautiful bhajans and sending them in for us to listen to for our virtual Sunday morning satsang. For anybody else who'd like to record anything and send it in, whether it be a speech, a song, bhajan, a dance, a video, anything, well wishes, verses from our scriptures, please do so. You can send it to me at Shiv Shakti Mandir ga@gmail.com. Again, that's Shiv Shakti Mandir ga@gmail.com. But thank you to all of you who recorded something and sent it in for today. Devotees, as we continue on a little further, I want to make sure that we all take some time, for those of us who have a guru, to offer a prayer toward guru. If not, then I ask that you take Lord Shiva and or Deva in your mind, that you shall choose as your universal guru, as you join together with me in prayer. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namah. Om Dhyana Moolam Guru Murti Puja Moolam Guru Param Mantra Moolam Guru Bhakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripal Prem Se Guru Deo Ki Jai. Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. Devotees, 2 weeks ago, when we were continuing on with our sermons from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, we had just finished chapter 5 in book 1 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, in which Narad and Vyasadeva were having a conversation together. And Vyasadeva was told by Narad that if you're going to do any sort of work, do it in the name of God. If you're doing work for the sake of the material gains that you're getting from it, and keep in mind, material gains is not just something physical, but it's also maybe the emotional appeal that you get from doing that, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. Remember, Narad was telling Vyasadeva that all the work he did was not to please God, not necessarily to even spread the word of God to man, but to make it so that he felt fulfilled in this world, and that's not the goal. Your goal isn't to feel fulfilled. Your goal is to detach from the world, do all of your work in the name of Bhagwan, and attain enlightenment. That's what Narad was telling Vyasadeva. So now we move on to chapter 6. Remember, Canto 1, Book 1 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran is known as Creation, and chapter 6 is a continuing conversation between Narad and Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva heard what Narad said. Of course, he wasn't apprehensive towards this. I read a quote today from, and I know this is not really a person who's Sanatana Dharmic, but or knows the verses of Sanatana, but Matthew McConaughey said in a quote recently, or I don't know if it was recently, that if somebody provides criticism to you and you take offense to it, that means you have too much ego in your heart. And in this sense, Vyasadeva didn't get mad at Narad for telling him these things, even though they sound harsh. They're the truth. He didn't get mad at him. He understood, he listened, and then he continued on by asking him a question. In the Srimad Bhagavad Purana, Sutta Goswami is now telling us that after hearing from the great sage among the gods about his births and exploits, the sage Vyasadeva, the son of Satyavati, asked him another question. Vyasa said to O Narad, "What did you do after the Metachants had departed, who instructed you in the wisdom before your present life began? O son of Brahma, what were the conditions you spent your life in after the initiation, and how have you, after in the course of time, having abandoned your body, achieved this body? How could you, O great sage, remember all of this from a previous period in any detail? Is it not so that the time in the long runs puts an end to all of this? So how are you remembering information from so early on, for such a long time ago, for some previous lives, previous births? How can you remember these things? How did you maintain your mind and your body after all of these good people left? How did you do it? How did you continue to be such a good person? How did you have the strength to do so, is what he's asking Vyasadeva. Or what Vyasadeva was asking Narad. Narad replied back, "The great sages in my previous life gave me the transcendental knowledge I have at present day, and after they departed, I did the following. I was the only son of my mother, who was a simple woman who worked as a maidservant. She had no one else, so that as I, her offspring, was completely determined by the emotional bond I had with her. Although she wanted to take care of me properly, she could not do so because she, like everybody, was dependent, as a puppet is, on a string. Being only 5 years old, I attended the school of the Brahmins and lived depending on her without having clue about time, place, and direction. When she once went out at night to milk a cow, she was bitten in the leg by a snake on the path, and thus my poor mother fell victim of the supreme time. I took it as a benediction of the Lord, who always wishes for his best for his devotees. And with that in mind, I headed for the north. There I found many flourishing big and small towns and villages with farms, minerals, and agricultural fields and valleys with flowers and vegetable gardens and forests. I saw hills and mountains full of gold, silver, and copper, and elephants pulling branches from trees nearby, delightful lakes and ponds full of lotus flowers aspired by the denizens of heaven, and my heart was pleased with the birds and the number of bees hovering about. All alone I passed through impenetrable thickets of bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, and weeds, and reached deep and dangerous forests that were the playgrounds of snakes, owls, and jackals. Physically and mentally exhausted, I, hungry and thirsty, took a bath and drank from the water of a lake from a river, so that I found relief from my fatigue. In that uninhabited forest, I sought my refuge under a banyan tree, and emptied my mind by focusing upon the super soul present within myself, as I had learned from the liberated souls. Thus, meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality, all of my thinking, feeling, and willing transformed into transcendental love. In my eagerness, tears rolled down my cheeks as I slowly saw the Lord appearing in my heart, fully overwhelmed by an excess of love and transfixed in feelings of happiness all over my body. I, O sage, being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, did not see him or myself any longer. No longer seeing the form of the Lord who removes all disparity from the mind, I, all of a sudden perturbed, got up like something having lost something desirable." It's a very eloquent and very poetic story, and you hear the way that Narad is describing his life. Sometimes when we read the scriptures, the way that the scriptures are being depicted or described, it can be a little complex. But the way Narad is speaking to Vyasadeva is a very common way, a very easy way, a way that helps us understand what's going on in life. And you can sum it up so simple. I was raised by sages and they left, and then I was alone with my mother. My mother had to work so hard, and suddenly she fell ill. And I couldn't do anything about it. She got bitten by a snake. There was nothing I could do. So as a young boy, I decided to go on my pilgrimage. I went on a penance, but that penance wasn't easy. That pilgrimage wasn't easy. No journey is easy, especially back then. He didn't have a car. He didn't have a backpack. He didn't have an iPhone or a GPS. Modern things like hydrogen peroxide, neosporin, bandages, antibiotics, all these kinds of medicine weren't available to him. Water bottles, hydro flask, whatever you all call them nowadays. Tupperwares with food. He went on a pilgrimage. It was tough. It was difficult. He had to go up hills, down hills, through lakes, through mud, through water, through predator-infested woods, forest, walking through thickets of razor grass, of thorns. And he made a pilgrimage to where he found a banyan tree. And then there he sat down and started to meditate. He started to meditate. And as he was meditating, everything transformed into transcendental love. His eagerness turned into love for the Lord. But he says, now keep in mind here, as he gets into verse 17. Fully overwhelmed by an excess of love and transfixed in feelings of happiness all over my body, I, O sage, being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, did not see him or myself any longer. No longer seeing the form of the Lord who removes all disparity from the mind, I, all of a sudden perturbed, got up like someone having lost something desirable. Desirous to experience that again, I focused all of my mind on the heart, but saw him not reappear despite my patient waiting, and thus frustrated, got very distraught. These are very three powerful verses in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And why are they so powerful, devotees? They're powerful because it says that he saw him. Narad saw Bhagwan. He saw that great being. But then he started to focus on his happiness, the ecstasy that he was feeling. He started to focus on how it made his body feel. So he had this great image in front of him, but then he started to focus on how it made him feel. And those feelings made him get lost and made him feel perturbed. So then he tried again to get that feeling, but he couldn't, is what he said. No matter how hard he tried, he could not see Bhagwan himself. Classically, the way these three verses are described also border along the lines, and I did some research before I'm telling you all this, along the lines of what we deem as addiction for certain material substances in this world. Now, I'm not talking about drugs necessarily, I'm talking about the word addiction. The word addiction means you find something that brings you some sort of temporary happiness, and then when it fades and you can't see it anymore, you keep trying to do that thing to bring that happiness back over and over and time again. Addiction could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be cleaning, it could be biting your nails, it could be watching too much TV, it could be eating too many fatty foods. You try to attain something because of the physical feeling that it brings you, that illusion that it brings you. And you get so absorbed in that feeling across your body, that feeling in your heart and your soul, how it makes you feel happy, how it makes you feel enlightened, how it makes you feel detached from the world, that you're really focusing mostly on yourself and not on what you're trying to attain, which is that happiness. You're not trying to see what other things I can do to be happy that don't involve me having to put something in my body or do something to consume my mind. So in here, he got a little taste of it. He saw Bhagwan. He saw God. And then he thought about how it made him feel. The happiness that flowed all over his body. He started making that physical. He made it more about the material feeling rather than about God. And therefore he lost what his sight was and he couldn't get it again no matter how hard he tried. He tried so many times to do the same exact thing. But he wasn't realizing that he, again, we talked about this, did not set his mind on the right goal and put his mind in the right path to achieve that goal successfully. His goal, he thought, was to attain God. But ultimately, what Narad was doing was attaining a physical feeling from trying to attain God. So he wasn't actually setting out to perform and achieve his goal successfully. He was addicted to grabbing something, but he wasn't ever able to get it. Trying and trying in that lonely pace, I heard from the beyond pleasing words of gravity being spoken to me that mitigated my grief. Listen, for as long as you live, you will not get to me here, because for someone who not completely united it is, with all impurities, difficult to acquire my vision. That was what he heard from beyond. Again, I'll read it out to you in verse 21 of chapter 6. Listen, for as long as you live, you will not get to see me here, because for someone not completely united with all impurities, difficult to acquire my vision it is. What does that mean? What does that mean? In translating it, essentially what Bhagwan was telling Narad is some information that you all will learn about next week during our regular Sunday morning satsang. Prem se bol Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai, Prem se bol Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. At this time, devotees, I know I left you on a cliffhanger. I wouldn't be a good educator if I just gave you all the information and didn't leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger, so I do apologize for that. But at this time, devotees, I ask that you go ahead and join together with me as you clasp your hands and close your eyes. With your hands clasped and your eyes closed, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax your spine, relax your shoulders, your neck, your forehead. Make sure your entire body is relaxed. Make sure your mind is relaxed. And at this time, choose a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you, and one that helps you focus, and join together with me as we chant our closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु ॐ सर्वे सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं धरस्तु मे पापोऽहं पापकर्माहं पापो आत्मा पापो सम्भो त्राहि मां पुण्डरीकाक्षं सर्वपापो हरो हरि ॐ त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युमामृतं गमय हरि ओं शान्ति 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 हरि ओं ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः ॐ शान्तिर् अन्तरिक्षं शान्तिर्पृथिवी शान्तिरापा शान्तिर् औषधे शान्तिर्वनस्पति शान्तिर्विश्वदेव शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शान्तिर् सर्वं शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि हरि ओं शान्ति शांति शांति हरि ओम तत्सत। प्रेम से बोलो गणेश भगवान की जय, प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय, प्रेम से बोलो सरस्वती माता की जय, प्रेम से बोलो नवग्रह देवता की जय, प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय, प्रेम से बोलो शिव शंकर भगवान की जय, प्रेम से बोलो शिव शक्ति मंदिर की जय, प्रेम से बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, with this, we've come to the end of our Sunday morning satsang, and I'd like to thank again each and every one of you for being here, whether you're watching live or watching sometime in the future as we continue on with our virtual Sunday morning services. Again, just a few announcements in regards to our calendars for this year. First and foremost, let me tell you some events that are coming up, and then I'll give you an update on our actual physical calendars. But for the month of February, there's two events that are occurring. So on Saturday, February 5th, that is this coming Saturday, February 5th, is known as Saraswati Jayanti, Basant Panchami, or the planting of Holika. So I will be taking care of that at my home. But if you'd like to plant a plant for yourself and for your family for the burning of Holika, you're more than welcome to. Best plant to do would be a castor oil plant if you have a castor oil plant. If you don't, then you can use a succa plant or banana leaf plant. Something small. It doesn't, when we say planting of a Holika, you don't have to plant something new to grow for Holika. You just have to plant something that is, I mean, if it's grown in a new pot of soil, make sure you water it every day, offer some obediences, some prayers, some other Saraswati, and a few other the devas as well. But that is on Saturday, February 5th. And then the other date that we have for the month of February for celebrations is Monday, February 28th. Again, that is Monday, February 28th. And that date is marked as Mahashivratri Puja. Again, service time and location is to be determined. If we have it in person, it'll probably be a little earlier on, so we're cognizant of time. If it is virtual, it'll probably be a little bit later, so we can give people some time to get home from work, and we have a little bit more flexibility. So again, that is Monday, February 28th is our Mahashivratri Puja. And we will do that. Again, I'll make announcements closer to the time as to when and where that is going to be. In regards to our calendars for this year, the calendars that we have for this year, let me see here, are here. We have gotten them in hand. My dad wanted to let everybody know that the calendars are available for pickup at the Mandir. They're going to be located in a plastic box under the breezeway. So the breezeway is the covered area that connects the Mandir and the front building and the kitchen. We're going to have them located there for those who want to go pick it up in a secure box. We do ask that if you go and pick up a calendar for yourself or for somebody else, once you get it from the box, make sure that that box is sealed nice and tight. We don't want any rain, water. We don't want the elements getting to those calendars and ruining the collection that we have. So the calendars are ready and available for pickup for those of you who would like to grab a calendar. But again, you'll need to go to the Mandir to do so. You'll get the calendar from a secure box underneath the breezeway. And again, my ask is that you close that box up so that way we don't have to worry about it and any of the calendars getting ruined because of the elements around. Just a few other things that I want to kind of give some updates on here really quickly in regards to the chat. I want to say Jai Sita Ram to Auntie Zandra, to Geeta, to my Anita Diti, and to my Indira Didi for chatting in chat. Thank you all so much for saying Jai Sita Ram, prayer hands and everything. Thank you all for being here as well. And for Geeta, she says happy birthday to somebody special, which brings me to our birthdays for the month. Again, when there's a few weeks that we have to cover that I know I had missed. And so the last time we talked about a few different people's birthdays, but over the course of 2 weeks we had a good number of birthdays. So first and foremost, to Auntie Patsy Butu, happy birthday to you, Auntie Patsy. We hope your day was absolutely wonderful. To Uncle Jagnarayan, who celebrated his birthday on the 20th, we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday as well, Uncle Jagnarayan. To Sister Shireen Samla, which is what Geeta was saying, happy birthday to her mom. She celebrated her birthday on the 29th. So to you, Sister Shireen, very, very happy birthday. To my cousin Anita, who celebrated her birthday on the 19th of this month, happy birthday to you. And today is a birthday for one special person in my life. My baby Mosi up in New Jersey is celebrating her birthday today. Today being, again, January 30th. So to my baby Mosi, if you're watching, JC Drama, very, very happy birthday to you as well. Indira says that her and her family are on the way to Mandir. They're going to go check up on things, but they will make sure that those calendars are there as well. So thank you, Indira, Didi, Tim Dabbit, Ashwarya, and Tejas. Devotees, with that being said, I have no other announcements for you all for this week. I hope that you all stay happy, safe, and healthy as the week continues to go on. I know it's going to be a little bit chilly out there, so bundle up, stay warm. Make sure to continue to check on each other. Remember to call each other. And make sure, you're saying something good, nice, and just being there for one another. That's what a community does. And I appreciate you all for everything that you continue to do. Again, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. You all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday for our regular Sunday morning satsang. Jai Sita Ram, everybody.